Hold up, player, this one about to get juicy, yeah. If anybody gonna talk about it, you know I gotta talk about it. Today we're gonna talk about, is the Galaxy S10e gonna kick the butt of the iPhone XR? Now y'all know me, I was rallying for the iPhone XR since the beginning. If you feel a way about it, I don't give up. Since a lot of people was hating, once we got to know what the iPhone XR really had to offer, I was like standing up for it, because a lot of people were just like wilding, not realizing that Apple's gonna bring a decent phone, and that they did. But now we got Samsung coming, and they have the advantage because they saw what the iPhone offered, and now they're able to offer up what they want to offer. And this is getting quite interesting. My name is CJ, this is CJ Knows Tech, where I love to talk tech and anything creative. And today we're gonna take a look at the iPhone XE versus the iPhone XR. Hold up, player, this one about to get juicy, yeah. Hold on, let me get up a little higher up. Hold up, player, let me get up here, you know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about display. The display was a huge conversation piece of the iPhone XR. This display is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Quit trolling, quit talking nonsense. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh, it's only a 720. Really, it's an 828. If we want to get technical, let's just say it's a liquid retina LCD 326 PPI, all that technical stuff. So that's exactly what the iPhone XR offers. The screen was just fine. It's a perfectly fine LCD. No, you cannot watch full HD on it. Then we got Samsung coming up behind with the S10e, and we have an AMOLED 5.8-inch full HD plus AMOLED capable of watching HDR10 plus with a 438 PPI. We all know Samsung, king of displays. I mean, do we even have to put this up for debate? I mean, the Samsung, they make the best display, so obviously the S10e is gonna have a better display. It's actually gonna have a really nice display. We talking AMOLED with that pixel density of 438 PPI. They're killing it. Now let's talk about cameras. The camera on the iPhone XR on the rear is the same one you're gonna get on the XS and XS Max, but you only have that single camera on the back, as well as the front. We already know the front cameras on iPhones, they're actually pretty decent, but they're not the best. So the front camera on the iPhone XR is a 7 megapixel with an aperture of f2.2. So it's a 2.2 aperture, 7 megapixels, gets the job done. But Samsung is coming out the gate on the S10e with a 10 megapixel selfie camera with dual pixel autofocus and an f1.9. As far as a spec to spec, S10e is gonna have a better selfie camera on there. Dual pixel autofocus, are you kidding me? I'm using dual pixel autofocus right now with the Canon M50 mirrorless camera. Dope. Now let's talk about rear cameras. Now obviously both of these cameras are gonna be capable of doing 4K 60, up to 4K 60. Granted that the S10e is capable of recording HDR10 plus, so that is an advantage. It does have a higher reach. But I mean, come on now, man, 4K 60 is like more than enough for any of us, if we want to be quite frank and honest. And the iPhone XR has that same single camera as the iPhone XS and XS Max, which is a great camera. You know, the iPhone camera color science tends to be warmer, but the colors are really nice on there. So that's something I can give to the iPhone time after time. For video, it's always a great phone. So the XR is not going to disappoint there at all. But when we start talking about the Galaxy S10e, we got two cameras on the rear. So the rear wide angle, 12 megapixels with an aperture of f1.5 or f2.4. Has that dual pixel aperture, you know, it's able to move. You remember when they first introduced it, how the aperture opens and closes on the Samsung device. So you're getting that on the S10e at 12 megapixels. But not only are you getting that, you're also getting their ultra wide 16 megapixel. I think it's the aperture f2.2. So you're getting that nice ultra wide lens that Samsung brought to the forefront, which is a lens that I'm super hyped and happy to use and put to the test. I mean, we're talking ultra wide. And in iPhones, we've been begging and asking for wide angle lenses for the longest. Apple, I mean, what's up? I mean, you know what I mean? Samsung is not playing out here when it comes to cameras. Now we're gonna see how these do side by side in true video, real world use. But as far as from a spec point of view, I mean, you're getting way more bang for your buck camera-wise with the Samsung S10e. Now, when it comes to security and logging in, you got Face ID, which I absolutely love. I'm super in love with. And then you got the side fingerprint sensor, which should be as natural and as quick as possible. So either way you go, as far as biometrics and signing in between the two, I think you are safe, secure, and you're gonna get a quick, speedy user experience. I don't think you lose either way. Now, when we come to the battery, we got the iPhone XR at 2,942 milliamps, but then you have the Samsung S10e at 3,100 milliamps. And really, that's very close. There's a very narrow gap in between the two. What it really comes down to is how optimized each device is. We know iPhones are very well about optimizing their battery power usage, just optimizing in general. The iPhone XR gives great battery. Now, the Samsung has a higher battery milliamp count, but it's all about how it's optimized and how it uses that. It has a better display, which is gonna use more battery. But there is the new Snapdragon 855, which is all about power saving and optimization, which I'm super excited about seeing that in the Android platform. So we're gonna see how that actually performs. Now let's talk about memory. Now this right here is where Apple pisses me off every year with these low memory offerings on their base models. 64 gigabytes is the entry to the iPhone XR, which I just absolutely despise. And Apple continues to do the 64 gigabyte. It makes no sense to me. 128 should be the entry level. And that on this model with the S10e, Samsung got that right. Now we got 3 gigabytes of RAM on the iPhone XR, coming in at 64 gigs for the entry level for that low price. But when you come to the Samsung S10e, they're giving you 6 gigabytes of RAM with a 128 gigabyte storage. Bravo, Samsung, like, thank you. No more of this 64 gigabyte entry level, please. 128 from now on, let's go. Also with the S10e, you're able to go up to 8 gigabytes of RAM with the 256 gigabytes of storage, which is killer. Now you're able to get a 128 with the iPhone XR or 256 with the XR, but your RAM will always be 3 gigabytes. Now granted, to give Apple some bail, shoot them some bail, they optimize really well and they use their RAM really well. So 3 gigabytes on paper with iPhone doesn't necessarily mean it's less, but I will throw shade at Apple for the 64 gigabytes entry level. Like that's, yeah. Now when we talk about processors, we all know Apple makes their own chips. They're super snappy, super go, you know what I mean? They fly. You got that A12 Bionic chip. So I can't really say anything negative about that. There's only been positive things when it comes to Apple's processing. You know what I mean? They make speedy, fast, very well optimized processors. This year with Samsung, we got that brand new Snapdragon 855, which is supposed to be a lot more optimized, power saving, and capable, which is bringing a lot of things to the forefront. So you got either that 7nm or 8nm octa-core processing on the Samsung S10e. So those two, until they are put side to side, speed tests and all that good stuff, we will never know. Now, when it comes to water resistance, we got IP68 on the Samsung S10e, and then we only have IP67 on the iPhone XR. I mean, there's something on both, but there's more on the S10e as far as water resistance and dust resistance. If you need more of a water resistance or a protection in that type of area, then the S10e is definitely more leaning toward protectiveness. Now, the next two things I'm gonna talk about are two things that the S10e has and comes with that the iPhone XR doesn't, and that's headphone jack. Yes, the headphone jack is back, baby. It ain't never left, but it's back. Meaning that Samsung has stayed true to the headphone jack this year, and they're giving it to their consumers. So for those of you out there who rely on headphone jacks, who love headphone jacks, who love wired headphones and the sound that you get out of that, which is far more superior than Bluetooth, you got a headphone jack. And there's other capabilities that you get out of having a headphone jack as well, you know, external mics and so forth. I know they have since adapted to the Lightning, but I'm just saying, headphone jack equals some convenience that is there and it's not on the iPhone XR. Not a deal breaker for me, in my opinion, but it is a plus for the S10e. And then the next thing that is given to us in the box with Samsung is fast charging. And this matters the most to the practical everyday user experience. You need to charge your phone often. We all do, we all charge our phone, and the faster the better. So having that fast charging always included in Samsung's devices with their devices is the biggest plus in the world when it comes to charging. So Apple, get on board, please. Get on board. Hold up. Listen to me, player. Get you some fast charging in the box. Get out of here with those little, you know what Apple gives us, man. Time to throw those things away, man. I can't even tell you the last time I used one of those, those things that Apple give you in the box. Anyways, when it comes to these two, these are not budget phones, but these are the entry-level phones to the Samsung Galaxy ecosystem as well as the iPhone Apple ecosystem. And these are what the offerings are, and they're quite competitive, especially on paper, sheet, spec for spec. So we gotta see how this lives up in real life. Is this truly a spec for spec battle, or does it come down to true real world user experience and optimization? We shall see. So does the Samsung S10e kick the iPhone's 10R butt, in your opinion? From what you've seen the offerings are, or are you still on the iPhone 10R side? Let me know down in the comment sections below. My name is CJ, this is CJ Knows Tech, where I love to talk tech and anything creative, and it's going down, baby. Samsung and Apple, they going at it head for head. We still have yet to see a foldable phone from Apple or whatever. I mean, it's coming, but we gotta see what they offer, and we've seen the Galaxy Fold. All right, I'm out.